Idiocracy, though, I mean, one also very depressing, is that the way it depicts this sort of slow, insidious coarsening of our culture and just the way we talk to each other. I was actually walking in my neighborhood the other week, and I saw this little kid with a T-shirt that was just like, "Ask me if I care," and his dad had a shirt that said, "Get off my dick." I'm like, holy fuck! Like, I'm living in Idiocracy now, and
yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, to that point, I was at right before what actually I had this idea for the movie around '96 when I was working on the Beavis and Butthead movie when I got the idea for this. I didn't do anything with it for a while, but in 2001 I was at Disneyland with my daughters waiting in line at the Teacups ride, and this woman with a stroller with a little kid and she's holding her other daughter's hand, and then another woman comes by, and I guess they'd had an altercation, and they just start going, and they're right behind me, and she just starts going, "Yeah, say that to my face, bitch, yeah, bitch, fuck you, bitch," like just all this shit going on. It's the Teacups ride, Alice in Wonderland, and just going like, wow, this is, okay, this isn't what Disney had in mind. But that kind of, then I started thinking, wow, maybe I should try to write this. And part of it being, I think I chose Carl's Jr. because they had those "Don't bother me, I'm eating" ads back then. And they were getting more and more obnoxious, and Fuddruckers clearly wanted you to think of butt fuckers. And I just thought, like, what if eventually they're all just going to give up pretending, and it's just going to be flat out, "Fuck you if you don't smoke our cigarettes," or whatever. And so there was that, and yeah, just kind of taking everything on the path it's already going and seeing where would that go eventually was sort of that was the concept when I started writing it.
I think one of the most influential parts of this movie, weirdly, is the opening sequence. It's the sort of, let's just call it soft eugenics happening there at the beginning. It's actually a factor in why my wife and I had kids, actually. We had this discussion after Idiocracy came out, because for a long time I was like, no, we can't have kids. And then we got this sort of idea, like, oh, well, what if we were those people? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I wanted to make it so that you could look at it either, I mean, I personally think it's a combination of genetics and how you raise a kid, but I wanted to have it kind of be where you could look at it both ways. So clearly the redneck guy isn't raising his kids really well, and he's knocking up a bunch of girls and all that stuff, and the people who are careful kind of lose in the battle of the progeny, I guess. But yeah, so that was actually the original idea I had. I was just kind of thinking about evolution, and there's no predators, and so it's just whoever has the most kids wins. And whether it's how you raise them or your genetics, that's, you could look at it either way, but that was the original notion. Then it kind of, I thought about just the way things are heading, and just, I'd seen, we were actually just talking about 2001. I had seen that around that time, and just thought, so that was from what, 1970 or something like that, and okay, thank you. And I knew we had some good film buffs, nerds out here. But I thought that would have been kind of cool and I love that movie, but that would have been kind of cool if instead of that pristine future, if it was like giant Costco's and the Jerry Springer show, and just thought, like, what if somebody had actually predicted that? That would have been kind of interesting. And so I don't know, I was just trying to do something along those lines.
I think what's also really interesting about Idiocracy is it predates, social media and Twitter, which has really contributed a whole lot to the coarsening of our dialogue, I think. And I also find it interesting that on Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley. Here's another one, and Office Space. you have these great minds that are being put in service of wasting their time, basically, of creating dumb things. And you have it in Idiocracy as well. You have all the brightest minds working on boner pills. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, we sort of didn't hit the, sometimes I wish I could have another chance to do this movie again, because there's a lot of stuff I got wrong, and a lot of stuff that, I mean, I don't know, it felt like the movie was cursed to begin with. It was just, we probably should have, I don't know, it was just a whole deal with the studio. They went from really wanting me to make it to going like, why are we making this? And so there were a lot of battles, and it was just a lot of things that went wrong. But yeah, sometimes I think, we have these tattoos and all that stuff, and there's probably, there's a lot of stuff I probably got wrong, but that's why I didn't watch it tonight. I watched a little bit at the end. It's a little depressing.
So, just a little. Hey, in the movie, the government is run by complete idiots, and yet they find the smartest man in the world, and they decide to hire him to fix all the problems. Do you feel like you were completely naive and optimistic?
Well, I remember when I never did any press because there wasn't much to do, because it didn't really come out. But I actually think, in a weird way, the movie was kind of optimistic. I mean, people are still alive, and it's 500 years. And,
did you read the news today? Did you read the Paris Accord thing today?
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't want it to be too depressing, but I guess it sort of is.
It's the fun kind of depressing.
That's what I do.
We do want to take some of your questions if you guys want to line up at this microphone here. Just one last question from me, and somebody actually kind of shouted it out. I know we're not going to make a sequel, but in your head, where do you think these people are now? Where's the world of Idiocracy 10 years from what we saw?
We've talked about doing maybe an animated series. There's actually very recent talks about a musical, which I actually think could work. I would like another shot at it, so yeah, it's nice to hear.
But do things get better?
No, probably not.
Okay.
They'll get,
That's the answer I was looking for.
everyone will be happy.
Sir, you have a